is up, bros? I'm Caleb.
And I'm Jonathan.
And we are a couple of bros on a mission to give you guys the most detailed movie reviews out there with as little bias as possible. Welcome to the All Bros. This week on the podcast, we have everything that Rose has watched this week in Weekly Watch, because I have been not watching movies. No particular reason, just because I've been kind of a lazy shit about it. That's not true. I've been watching TV. It's just shows. I haven't been watching movies.
Did I get that? Dude,
Like,
you have every excuse in the book. You're a working dad, just had a new kid. Like, you got every excuse in the book, buddy. Don't try to say you've been a lazy piece of shit.
Yeah, well, it feels like it. I mean, I went through the same process with the first one where it was just shows. It was just stuff that I could do that was easy, like just sitting around. And I don't like sitting around, but it's also like what's kind of best for the new kid, just kind of chilling wherever. And Brielle doesn't want to be doing it all the time, which I don't blame her. But so when I'm with him, I'm usually like sitting on the couch watching something on my phone, or when I'm like really feeling antsy, I'm playing a video game. So I've kind of been doing that whole thing. But yeah. So yeah, Rose will update us on what he's been watching this week. And then after that, we will be getting right into our breakdown of Ricky Stanicky. So with that, let's say we get on into this.
Let's do it.
Hello, my name is Brucker Nurse, and I want to tell you about my fun horror movie podcast called Autopsy of a Horror Movie. On my show, I like to have fun dissecting out what makes a horror movie scary, what worked for it, what didn't, what types of fears does it play off of. Is it an allegory for any sort of message? I don't know, but let's find out. Also, I like to watch slashers. I'm a big slasher guy, so I'll watch a slasher and do a kill grade for it. I will cover the kills and I will tell you how I would grade it based on shock, method, style points, and a fourth category that is a reflection of the movie. Besides those, I'll have fun with special topic episodes, commentary tracks, interviews with guests, including some Shudder directors, so I just like to have a fun time over here. If any of this sounds interesting to you or you just want to come check me out, please head over to Spotify, Apple Podcasts, or anywhere they listen to podcasts and search for Autopsy of a Horror Movie. Also be sure to find me on Instagram at Brucker Horror, where you get fun updates and some cool little posts that I do. Thanks for listening, and I hope that you get to enjoy the show, and I'll see you on Instagram. Bye.
Alrighty, first up in Weekly Watch, Rose, you want to walk us through and tell us about everything that you've watched this week?
I would love to. So in preparation for Frozen Empire coming out this Thursday, which I am so freaking stoked for, cannot freaking wait, I decided to watch the Ghostbusters movies again. Not like I've seen them 100 times before, but why not? See if I've missed any details, which I haven't. So started with Ghostbusters, the all-time classic, my favorite movie of all time. I love this movie so much. And so no surprise to anyone, I'm going to give this a full price ticket. This is the comedy of the 80s. I feel that the special effects in this movie, I still, for the most part, hold up. Like, there are some scenes that you're just like, okay, yeah, that's definitely 80s. Like, a lot of like the terror dog scenes, like when it's jumping around. But like all of the like proton streams, anything with Slimer, which I appreciate that a lot of the stuff in here was practical, so it definitely holds up. So like most of the ghosts look as good as what they would look now. Maybe like if they were like filmed on like the cameras of today, I would say so. But like like the Stay Puft Marshmallow Man, like you said, Slimer, the effects for the most part I still feel hold up. But what truly makes this movie a full price ticket is these actors: Bill Murray, Dan Aykroyd, Harold Ramis, and Ernie Hudson. All four of these guys are amazing together. Literally, no matter how many times I see this movie, I'm just laughing my ass off throughout because the comedy is that great in this movie. Sorry, Jess, I can say go.
No, I was just gonna say it's friggin' bullshit that Ernie Hudson doesn't get any love on this poster.
Right? Yeah, that's I think it's probably because they're just like, oh, he doesn't come in halfway through or some shit like that. Yeah, apparently he only got paid like $40,000 for the first Ghostbusters, and then these three got paid. I forget how much when it comes to millions. It was a couple million, and then they also got a taste of the revenue from what it made back at the box office.
That is some bullshit.
Yeah,
I hope he got a better deal with the future installments.
I hope so too. Because freaking who doesn't love Winston? He's great. But yeah, freaking Ghostbusters, can't beat it. I'm still sad that I haven't been able to actually see this on a big screen. But the reason why I'm giving it a full price ticket is because the moment that I'm able to, that they do like a Fathom events thing for it close, I will literally be buying my ticket that night because I have to experience this movie on the big screen before I die.
You could up or watch it on big screen.
Oh, yeah, that's true.
I I know Fathom Events is probably going to do one eventually. Like, I feel like Ghostbusters will typically show up in theaters around Halloween.
Makes sense.
At least some theaters I've seen. But I mean, if you're craving it that bad, like big screen is my go-to for theatrical experiences.
That's fair.
Like, I know it's not like a 1-for-1 or anything, but it's pretty damn close. Especially if you can get just a rocking set of headphones or something. Like, get some headphones that are good. So I don't use the headphones. What I'll do is I have like an old surround sound system. So I'll just plug that into my headset and it gives me like that theater sound quality that I'm looking for.
Okay, nice. Hell yeah.
So I mean that's always an option. I mean
No,
that's my go-to because there are some movies that I only want to watch on the big screen, and that's my go-to method of going about it.
No, that's fair. That's completely fair. It just I feel like the New York aesthetic, all the ghosts that they capture in this movie, just everything with the proton pack, anything with capturing the ghosts just would look amazing on the big screen, and definitely something I want to hopefully be able to accomplish soon. Because I've seen Halloween on the big screen. Finally, I was able to do that this past Halloween season. So I'm really hoping that I can do Ghostbusters hopefully this next Halloween season. That'd be really cool.
Hell yeah.
Next up, Ghostbusters 2. The sequel that I feel gets way too much damn hate. It's not as good as the original, but I feel that it does a very good job continuing the story of these characters. The fact that it takes place 5 years later, everyone thinks that the Ghostbusters are a scam. You know, they don't believe anything what they did. They don't believe that they saved New York City. Makes complete sense. Makes complete sense. And I feel that's usually like a thing in like every single movie. They're just like, oh yeah, they saved the world. Oh wait, no, we actually didn't believe that. Never mind. Like the only one that's not the case is in Ghostbusters the video game, because like the franchise is still alive and well. Like they are freaking thriving. Everyone still believes in it. So like I'm glad that it finally caught on. But like it is cool to see them, bring back how they bring back the Ghostbusters franchise in this, and them I don't know what else was I going to say.
I got a question for you. Is the video game considered canon?
I don't think it is, because I don't even know if Ghostbusters 2 is canon in, like, I feel it's so in Afterlife I don't they don't mention Ghostbusters 2 at all, but I swear in someone like saw in Frozen Empire, like in the background they saw like the logo of the 2. Um because I know in Ghostbusters the video game, Ghostbusters 2 is canon, because if you're looking around the firehouse in one of the rooms, you can actually see like the actual 2 sign just like sitting in the background, because I guess they took it down and put the original logo back up in the front in front of the firehouse. But it always I feel it's such a gray area if Ghostbusters 2 and Ghostbusters the video game are canon. The first one will always be, of course, but 2 and the video game are kind of a gray area, it seems, which is unfortunate because I love them both.
Yeah. It's interesting that that's the determining factor on whether it's canon and Ghostbusters. Like, did they ever explain why they changed their logo?
I would assume just because like they got canceled. Like they never actually say why. But I would just assume like since they basically got shut down, canceled, they decided, oh hey, we're back for round 2, so let's give our logo doing a 2. Like I love the logo. Like freaking, I have the logo on my freaking water bottle. But like I think it would have been just fine if you kept the classic No Ghost logo. You didn't really need to have it stepping out of the red cross and doing the 2 symbol, but whatever. It works.
All right.
Yeah. But yeah, no, like since this one was came out, I believe 10 years after the first one, like the effects are even better in this one. The proton streams look great. The ghosts are amazing in this one. Freaking the Scoleri brothers, freaking love those 2. Just yeah, like the effects are great in the first one, but I feel that since this one came out a couple of years after, they were able to even get them even better. So because
I always get 1 and 2 like combined in my brain. Stay Puft Marshmallow Man is 1, right?
yes.
Okay. And the Stay Puft is also with the gatekeeper and keymaster and all that?
Yep.
Okay, cool. I forget who the villain was in 2 then.
It was the evil painting, Vigo the Carpathian.
That's right.
Yeah.
Gosh damn it. Dude, for some reason, like I always get it like confused in my brain. Like I remember the painting dude. So, but I always think that he was the one that like corrupted Sigourney Weaver's character and turned her into the gatekeeper. And then she took over Rick Moranis, who became the Keymaster, and then the Hell Dogs. And then like I thought it all kind of stemmed from him.
No, that's Gozer.
Damn it. Okay, cool.
You're good, man. I feel bad though for the guy that did the acting for Vigo, because there's a behind the scenes clip of him like actually like doing the lines, and I'm sorry, the guy cannot act. I feel really bad, and so they voice dubbed over him and so the voice that you hear in Ghostbusters 2 is not the original guy's voice.
I feel like that was a pretty common practice back then because they did the same thing with Darth Vader.
That's true. But did he know that was happening?
The guy doing Darth Vader?
Yeah.
I don't know.
Because the guy that played Vigo didn't. He literally went to the premiere and
dude,
like, oh, that's not my voice.
That sucks.
Yeah.
I don't know where I'd stand on that, because at the same time I'd just be like, whatever, the cash cleared or the check cleared.
Fair enough.
So it's like, how upset can you really be if you're still making the payday? But I mean, if you're going there just thinking that, oh, like I'm some big bad ghost person, like, yeah. I've always wondered, like, as an actor, like I always seem to forget that they have like special effects and stuff that they add after the movie, or that they have extra scenes and stuff that they've shot, because like, so they have like almost a 4 or 5 hour long story, and it all just gets compressed down in like 1 hour or however long the movie is, or whatever.
Mhm.
So I've always wondered how actors feel like coming out of a movie, just in terms of like, because like they were there for the whole process, they know all the stuff that they shot or obviously didn't say. So I've always wondered if people have gone into a movie and be like, oh, I can't wait to see this one scene I did, like it's freaking sick, and then they gets completely cut and they're like, what the hell?
uh Dude, speaking of like effects, I've been thinking about this recently. With I don't know if you've like when you watch Ghostbusters, like you look at when they're shooting the proton stream, like the face that they're giving, like if it's like giving too much kickback or something, or if they feel like confident in it, it's really funny. I'm sorry to see how different each actor's face is, because like Bill Murray's is like so like stern, I feel, and like only like is just like gives like a very like stern, like just like a little bit of kickback. Whereas like Dan Aykroyd, he's like clenching his like teeth, and it's like really kicking him back. It's just really funny.
I feel like there'd be a trick. Like I feel like I know what they did when they shot this, that they were just holding the pack, and then it's like, all right, just do whatever, and it's blasting, and then they're just doing whatever the hell they're wanting to do.
Yeah.
I don't know if I could trust actors enough, like especially a group, to be consistent about how to make something like look like it feels consistent. Because, like you said, like it looks like Bill Murray has no problem with it, and then Dan Aykroyd looks like he's about to get blasted off the building or knocked on his ass or something. I'm like, dude, like, listen, this is what we're gonna do. I'm gonna attach strings on the back of your proton pack. You try to keep it here and do whatever the hell face you feel you need to do. But keep the gun here. And then like just have some stagehand on the back, just like yanking on the thing once it goes.
Like it's fun, like because I think they were on Kimmel. Bill Murray and Ernie Hudson were on there, and they were actually like showing him how to properly hold a proton pack. And apparently he was the kind of guy, because I feel, excuse me, Rick Moranis was like this in Ghostbusters too, where like you know, it makes sense if like it's your first time for how powerful they are. You're literally just waving the wand all over the place because you don't know how to control it. But it's really funny watching Jimmy do that. Because Ernie Hudson, he's just like, okay, wait, no, you're going too crazy. Like, you're not even gonna be like freaking attached to a ghost. You got to stand firmly, and like actually, you're gonna feel like a little bit of kickback, but you're not gonna just be freaking waving your arms all over the damn place.
Okay, I feel like the freaking proton packs are so inconsistent about like I could not tell you for the life of me, even after playing the video game that you sent, the I forget, Answer the Call or something like that.
Yeah.
Whatever the actually, isn't that the name of the
Oh
movie?
no, that's the name of the reboot. I think it's Spirits Unleashed.
Okay, yeah, Spirits Unleashed. I could not tell you how proton packs, the beams get to where they're supposed to go. They look, I mean, they freaking like wave like snakes, and then they're just like, all right, now I got them, and like, and then they like blast, and I'm like, okay, do you have to like fling it like a lasso to the ghost? Like, what the hell? And
Like
it's
they
like,
don't
no, you
even.
just need to point and shoot. I'm like, that's bullshit. It feels like I should be like doing a freaking like lasso swing back here, and then like and then like it captures the ghost. Like,
It's kind of like in the courtroom scene in this one, when Venkman is going, he's going after one of the Scolari brothers, and his beam goes through like one of the perches on the floor or whatever, like holding up, I guess, like the top of the courtroom, and he's able to still capture the ghost through that. And Ray's just like, you got him, you got him. I'm like, okay, if it's shooting through that for how strong a proton stream is, shouldn't that thing be burning down?
Yeah, dude,
Like that should
like
have
I
just
said,
cut right through that.
freaking bullshit. The proton pack, as cool of a prop as it is, it's
So
it's one of the
so
more
freaking cool.
iconic props of the 80s.
Oh yeah.
It is bullshit how that thing works.
I haven't seen, I mean, I've seen quite a few episodes, but I'm very curious if like the real Ghostbusters ever like dives into anything like that. Probably not, but I'd be curious.
Maybe.
Because even the video game, like the OG video game from 09 didn't, I feel, do a great job explaining that.
Yeah, because the proton packs work by movie magic. There's no rhyme or reason why they do what they do.
This is not me knocking the original, because like I said, favorite movie of all time, and the reboot remake has so many problems, but I will say I appreciate that in the remake you actually got to see Holtzman build the proton pack, and like, you know, like you saw it from its early stages, whereas in the original, like literally their first call, bam, we got our packs. Nothing wrong with them. Just
Oh, shit.
I can't bag on the original though. I can't. But so with that, Ghostbusters 2, $5 Tuesday, because I feel every Ghostbusters movie needs to be seen on the big screen for how much of a spectacle these movies can be, especially the finale of this one with the Statue of Liberty. Like that shit needs to be seen on the big screen.
Oh yeah, definitely.
So next up that I watched, so what was it? A couple weeks ago. So I watched The Strangers Pray at Night again. Because a couple weeks ago we got the first trailer for the reboot of The Strangers, and it's going to be a trilogy, and it's going to explore who the strangers are, which I have problems with because I really don't need to know who they are. Literally, they're just sick.
Yeah, they're the strangers. You're
Yeah.
going to make them acquaintances, the assholes.
They're three sick, twisted people that think this is fun to torture people. That's all I need to know. Like seriously, I don't need to know their backstories. So me and Caleb went and saw this when it first came out with our buddy Christian. And I think we liked it, didn't we? Like we thought it was decent.
We liked it, but we did give this movie a very hard time.
Yeah, okay. Much deserved. And honestly, I feel it's even worse seeing this time around. Because I hate this family so much. At least the kid, the parents are okay. I'll give the parents a little bit of a pass, but the kids suck. Especially the daughter.
Yeah.
Like, oh,
they were
my
the
God.
worst.
And freaking like don't get me wrong, like there are some iconic scenes in this movie, like the pool scene is great. But just like they tried to match the iconic dialogue from Dollface with the original. She's someone asked the girl, I think it was Liv Tyler, she asked, why are you doing this? And she says, because you were home, which that is so terrifying to like hear. Like that's so effed up. But in this one, first of all, the little girl pulls off Dollface's mask and asks, why are you doing this? And just her saying, why not? I don't know. It's not as effective. It's I don't know. It wasn't as strong as because you were home. Now
they need to get on the team of like figuring out, like what I remember pulling from this movie was that it was very inconsistent on whether these were just like three messed up people or if they had some sort of supernatural ability.
Seriously, like freaking the bagged man at the ending, like who is he now? Freaking Michael Myers?
No shit, dude.
Like straight up bullshit. Like, because freaking Dollface and Pinup Girl go out like that. Like, literally, they're stabbed, they're dead. But it literally takes this guy to be burned alive, and even he doesn't die from that. For him to go out,
Yeah,
it's
dude, doesn't he
freaking
get like hit
bullshit.
by a car
Mhm.
and then he gets lit on fire and then doesn't someone shoot him?
Yeah, and then he also gets thrown out of the back of the car.
Oh my gosh. Dude, I forgot how freaking
Dude, like freaking
jacked this dude
when
did.
he climbs into the back of the pickup truck that pick up the I forget the daughter's name. I don't really care. Like, I get every single time I get Halloween 4 flashbacks, and I'm just like, he is not Michael Myers.
Yeah, just like, what the hell do you think is happening here, bro?
And the fact that like this movie doesn't give a shit about Pinup Girl. Like, they only focus on the man and the bag, whatever the hell his name is. The man with the bag on his head, rip off Scarecrow. That's really what he should be.
Pretty much.
And Dollface. No, they don't give a shit about Pinup Girl. She is literally in 2 scenes. One, when the girl is hiding in a tube and she reaches into the light and says, "We're just getting started." And then in the next scene, she gets killed because she starts running up on the son, and he whacks her. I think he whacks her with a golf club, and then he stabs her to death with her own knife. Those are the only 2 scenes that you actually see Pinup Girl in, and it's freaking bullshit. Like, the creators had a personal vendetta against this character. I don't get it. But yeah, just the fact that her brother survived too, which is, I think, is just straight up bullshit.
Yeah, I remember him getting freaking jacked, dude.
He would have bled to death in the time that she needed to go get help. No way he survived that shit. Yeah, just like the strange. You come to these movies to watch the strangers kill people, and even that isn't that good. Like, the strangers were done dirty in this movie. So, like, some of the kills are fun, like the pool house, like the pool. Like, I feel that's definitely worth seeing.
The pool's the best out of anything that they
Yeah.
do. I remember a lot of freaking bullshit happening with it. Like, I forget who. Oh, I remember one of the freaking jump scares that got me is while the parents were driving down the street and they were talking, and then you just see a freaking like log come through the damn
Oh,
window.
yeah.
That scared the bejesus out of me, dude. Because it came out of freaking nowhere.
Yeah, it did. So yeah, like this sequel is just not that good. Like, I feel that, I mean, spoiler alert, like, if you got nothing better to do and you liked the first one, which I think the first one is one of my favorite horror films because it's just so eerie and it's just so disturbing. I love The Strangers, but this sequel was just not it. The only thing that makes it worth watching is the kills. There are some decent kills, like we've mentioned many times. That pool scene, it feels worth it. But just the family sucks. All the characters besides the strangers suck. Whereas in the original, you actually cared about the couple. You don't give a shit about this family one bit.
Yeah, not even a little.
So I hope that this new trilogy, I don't know why it needs to be a goddamn trilogy, is at least better than this, because I freaking love these characters and they deserve. I mean, one, they didn't really need a sequel, but if you're going to give them more movies, at least do them justice.
I will be happy as long as the story makes some sense. It doesn't need to make a ton of sense, and it doesn't have to be fantastic, but it needs to make some sense, and the kills need to be creative. If you just give me very average kills, I'm going to be pissed off.
I already know one thing that I don't like what they're doing with the outfits is that Dollface, instead of having her hair down, they have the hood up, or it's a beanie, whatever. And then the mask is over that, and it just looks freaking weird.
Yeah.
Like, Pinup Girl's mask, that looks fine. Because I think they have the hood up, and that looks okay. And Scarecrow ripoff looks fine too. But just Dollface, I'm just like, no. The mask looks weird when you're wearing either your hood or a beanie with it. Like, I'm sorry, you need to have your hair down. We need to see your hair. It just looks weird.
Yep.
But yeah, like I said, nothing better to do for the Strangers Pray at Night. Just not that good.
Fair enough. All right. Well, with that wraps up this week's weekly watch. So let's say we get right into this week's breakdown.
Let's do it.
Hell yeah. Alrighty, like we said, this week we will be breaking down Amazon Prime. Like, this came straight to Prime, right?
Yeah, it did.
Yeah, so Amazon Prime's comedy, Ricky Stanicky. So I just finished watching this literally right before we started recording, and I don't know when you watched it.
I watched it this afternoon, so
Yeah.
a little bit before you.
Yeah, we've been cutting it close lately.
That's okay.
All right. But anyway, if you guys are new to our breakdown system, we have split movies into 8 different categories that we individually score to come to a final All Bros letter grade. The 8 categories that we score are story, writing, acting, character development, effects, music, costumes, and then we give it our own personal score at the very end. All of those numbers get magically added up and spit through our algorithm and give us a letter grade to compare this movie to others of a similar score. So if you have not watched Ricky Stanicky, like we said, it is currently available to stream on Prime Video. So go check it out. Otherwise, we will be spoiling the entire freaking movie for you in our favorite segment that we like to call Reading with Rose. So you have been properly warned. So we will be posting that spoiler warning now. And without further ado, Rose, would you like to take it away?
Absolutely. 3 childhood friends, Dean, Wes, and JT, prank one of their neighbors on Halloween night by lighting a bag of dog feces on, you know what, I'm just going to say dog shit. We're going to change it. On fire and leaving it on their doorstep. The fire spreads to the neighbor's scarecrow. Failing to put out the fire, Dean writes the name Ricky Stanicky on one of their costume pieces, leading police to believe that Ricky Stanicky, an out-of-town kid, was responsible for the prank. 20 years later, the trio continued to use Ricky Stanicky as their excuse to forego life obligations and avoid getting in trouble. JT and his wife, Susan, are about to have a baby shower, and Dean and his girlfriend, Erin, have been setting it up. Dean gets a call from Ricky, who is really Wes, claiming that his testicular cancer is back and that he is alone in Albany, New York. Erin and Susan encourage Dean and JT to spend time with Ricky. In reality, JT and Dean received tickets to see Mark Rebellet in Atlantic City, New Jersey. On their flight, the trio turn off their phones, post something as Ricky, and write in their Bible of Ricky Stanicky, detailing all of what Ricky Stanicky has done. While in Atlantic City, they meet Rock Hard Rod, an actor and impersonator who sings sex-based parodies of popular songs. Shortly after, Dean learns that Susan went into labor 6 weeks early, forcing them to hurry back. At the hospital, the trio learns that Susan already gave birth to a boy named Whitaker. JT's mother-in-law, Leona, does not believe Ricky Stanicky is real. Wes almost tells everyone the truth, but Dean pivots by saying that Ricky lied in order to celebrate being 5 years cancer-free with his best friends. Leona tells the trio that Ricky is invited to Whitaker's brie. While Wes believes that it is time for them to come clean, Dean decides to hire Rod to play Ricky Stanicky. At the brie, Rod impresses
I think it's
everyone.
a bris.
Oh, bris, sorry. Thank you.
I think a brie is a type of cheese.
Yeah, it is. My bad. Oh, man. At the bris, Rod impresses everyone with his personality and knowledge as Ricky, including Leona, Carly, Aaron's cousin, and Ted Summerhays, Dean and JT's boss. When Rod gives the trio the impression that he personally knows Carly's ex, Gary Polisner, they decide to drug Polisner with a ketamine pill, but the rabbi eats the pill instead. During the circumcision, the rabbi has a reaction to the ketamine, leaving Whitaker half circumcised. Ricky uses Summerhays' cigar cutter to complete the circumcision, causing everyone to celebrate. The next day, Summerhays reveals that in preparation for their merger with World River, a major company from San Francisco, he has hired Ricky Stanicky. Aaron also drops by, revealing that she scored a reporting gig for a local news channel's Hero of the Week segment and is pursuing a story on Ricky and his alleged humanitarian efforts. Summerhays decides to start a charity organization per Ricky's suggestion and makes Ricky the head of the World River merger, replacing Dean. Rod begins to record Dean to ask for advice. In anger, Dean tells him that he is Rod, not Ricky. Rod reveals that he's legally changed his name to Richard Barbara Stanicky and tells Dean that he is thankful for being given a new life, while Dean is depressed as he is going to lose his job and relationship with Aaron once Ricky is proven to be a fraud. The next day, there is a party between Summerhays Company and World River where they intend to watch the premiere of Ricky's Hero of the Week segment. Aaron meets with Dean and tells him that she knows Ricky Stanicky is Rock Hard Rod at the party. Rock Hard Rob, sorry. At the party, Summerhays introduces Dean, who confesses to all the guests that Ricky Stanicky is fake, apologizing and promptly leaving the party. The Hero of the Week story begins playing, and Rod tells the reporter about how he met Dean and how the Ricky Stanicky Bible made him realize that he needed to change his life. As Summerhays is about to fire Dean, the World River executives approach Summerhays and enthusiastically approve of his choice to hire Ricky, ready to agree to a merger. Summerhays asks Dean his thoughts, and they agree to the merger. After learning the truth about Ricky, Susan tells JT that he has to camp out in the backyard for 6 months as punishment. Aaron reveals to Dean that she decided to pursue the story about Rod becoming Rick. Oh my god. Aaron reveals to Dean that she decided to pursue the story about Rod becoming Ricky. Dean asks if she can forgive him. Aaron states that it will be difficult, but hearing Ricky's recording of Dean talking about his love and appreciation for Aaron helps. At the party, Rick tells the trio that Carly is now his fiancée and that they are all going to work on cleaning the environment on the weekend. During the credits, videos and pictures are shown with Ricky and others cleaning, Carly donating her hair to children, Wes becoming a published author, JT brushing his teeth outside near his porta potty while Susan and Whitaker watch, everyone posing at Dean and Aaron's wedding, and a viral TikTok remix made with Summerhays' comedic jerking motions at various conferences.
Oh, shit. Dude, this... I don't know where I sit with this movie, if I'm being 100% honest.
You know what was the first problem that I had with this movie was right at the beginning, and it's when they go after they set the dog poop on fire, dog shit, whatever. They go and hide, and I feel that they hid so horribly that that was the first thing that I pointed out. Like, everyone can see you, you dumbasses.
I know, dude. That was not a big house. You don't run across the street when you ding dong ditch someone.
Yeah, you run as fast as you can the other way.
Yeah, you freaking run to the side of the house.
Yeah.
Like, you freaking dumbass. I'm like, dude, they freaking took their sweet ass time getting to that damn house.
Oh shit. Yeah. Did you ever do anything like that as a kid? I'm curious.
Like a ding dong ditch?
Yeah.
I did it to friends.
Oh, okay, but
It was more like I'd go to hang out and then I'd ding dong and then I'd run around the corner or hide around the corner, or if they had the little peephole, I would just kind of cover it up. I'd do that shit. I wouldn't but to a stranger, no, not even a little bit.
that just shows that you lived in Utah.
Yeah, I never
I,
did any like pranks or anything like that. At least not to
no,
strangers. Like I
no,
did it
like,
to friends, but
no. This is nothing against you, but like I never did anything like that as a kid, but a lot I did see some others do it, and I don't know. I feel that's just a good way of saying, "Oh, hey, your childhood was spent in Utah." Um, like I said, that's nothing against you. Just like it, I'm not surprised that like I don't see Utah kids doing that. California, oh, you will absolutely see that shit.
makes sense. I think like delinquents, like that's like what they used to be, and now they're like out front of like gas stations, like trying to get people to buy drugs.
Yeah,
Like I think it's the atmosphere has changed a lot.
yeah, it
So
really
that
has.
stuff's not nearly as like it's not nearly as popular. I have seen some chick on Instagram though who's trying to raise 90s kids. And so she's doing like things that 90s kids do. Like she tried to teach her kids to ding dong ditch, and she got caught a couple times by her neighbors, and they're just like looking at her weird. She's like, "Oh, I'm just teaching them ding dong ditch." And they like the neighbor, luckily her neighbors seem like they're cool, and they're just like, "Oh, that's so cute." Ah. And then they go on their merry way.
See, what sucks about like Ding Dong Ditch can't even be a thing anymore because everyone
Has a
literally
ring.
yeah, everyone has a ring camera. So Ding Dong Ditch ain't a thing anymore.
Yeah, it's just like, and with how well the kids know how technology works, like I think that'd be like the biggest thing.
Yeah, that's true.
I think there's ways of getting around it, but still, like, I mean, those ring
You
cameras, they
break
got
the
some
camera,
good.
that's what you do.
I know,
Yeah.
like that's kind of what you have to do, but like you can't even like properly sneak up on it because if it's such a wide field of view,
Yeah.
like it's freaking crazy.
No, dude, yeah. It's insane how far technology's come.
Yeah,
Like
but
just like think back to like like how kids are nowadays. Like, does anyone like still knock on their friend's house, be like, "Oh, hey, can Billy come out and play?" Or is it just like, "Oh, hey," because like let's face it, every kid has a cell phone now. It's like, "Oh, hey, you want to play outside today?" You don't have to ask that. You don't have to go to their house and ask their parents first. No, you can just text your friend right then and there.
I'm here for the efficiency though.
Fair enough.
Like I like it because it's just like think about it. Like what we used to do or what we used to have to do would be we go to like our friend's house or they'd come to ours and then they'd be like, "Hey, can you hang out? Can?" And it's like, "Yeah, but I got to do some chores first." And then it's like, "All right, cool." And then you just like meander around until like you think that their chores are done and then you go back and check. It's like you never really had a consistent time. So now it's just like,
Yeah.
"Hey, want to hang out? Sure, after chores. Cool. Let me know when you're done." And then you can be spending like time at home, like doing whatever the hell you want. And then it's like, "All right, hey, I'm done or close to being done." And then you're like, "Okay, I'll come over." Like it's so efficient now. I'm here for efficiency, bro.
All right,
I,
Caleb's got a point.
yeah. I also, and this just kind of goes to show how few friends I had. None of my friends that I was actually like at that age to walk around and like go see if they could hang out. None of them lived close enough to me to be able to do that.
Oh, damn.
So like
Sorry.
so I didn't end up going to school until second grade because my mom homeschooled me. So of course I didn't have friends until second grade. I had one kid that I was friends with for second and third, and he lived like a good while away. Actually, that's not even true. He lived over by Jack and Jill's.
I mean, but like,
For second and third grade, that's far.
yeah, dude, yeah, from remember where your house is to there, like, yeah, That's a pretty far walk for a kid in 2nd grade.
Yeah, for
Even
those
a
of you,
bike ride at that matter.
yeah, for those of you unfamiliar, where I lived and where Jack and Jill's bowling lane was about, I'd say, a 10-minute bike ride, depending on how fast you were going. It was like it was a while away, but so I was only in 2nd and 3rd grade. My parents weren't letting me do that, and so hanging out was a freaking chore. So I only ever ended up hanging out with him outside of school, like maybe 3-4 times.
Oh damn!
It wasn't a lot. And then when in 4th grade, I got moved to a school in a different city. So all my friends lived in Lehigh. So there's no way in hell I was able to go and knock on their door, see if they wanted to hang out or anything like that. There weren't a lot of kids in my neighborhood that I could go and do that.
Damn, that makes me sad.
Yeah, I mean, I had one friend that was like around the corner on my block, and then Colby, he lived in a different neighborhood, but he was in a different grade, so he had different friends altogether.
Mm.
And then my friend around the corner I don't think he really liked hanging out with me all that much.
Is it who I'm thinking of, or is it different?
I don't know if you knew them.
Oh, okay. I probably didn't then.
Yeah, they were out. They had moved out of the ward when you showed up.
Oh, okay. Never mind.
Yeah. They did live next door to someone you know.
I have no idea what you're talking about.
Okay. If that's not the dead giveaway, then no, you're good. Okay. So yeah. Anyway.
Okay.
Those were
now I'm going to be thinking about this all night. Thanks, man.
I know. Those were like the two. Actually, it was a little bit of a mixture. It was a mixture of like, I didn't know if they liked hanging out with me. And then on the other hand, I didn't like, they were in so many freaking extracurriculars. Like they weren't ever around.
Okay.
They were in like gymnastics and shit. So it's like each one of them had like different gymnastics times. So they'd be gone for like ever. And they were like, it wasn't just like, oh, just for exercise. Like they were like really good freaking gymnasts. And so they were practicing and doing all that shit all the freaking time. And
shit.
Yeah, so I had no chance of hanging out with them. So my go-to hangout buddy was my brothers.
I mean, nothing wrong with that.
Yeah.
Croy and Bronson are cool as hell.
Depends on the day.
Yeah, okay. All right, fair enough.
But yeah.
For over the year, as long as I've known them, that I will admit they've had their ups and downs. Bronson more so. I'm kidding.
But yeah, this is just a long-winded way of saying I didn't have friends to pull off these shenanigans with.
I mean, like I only hung out like in California. Like we had our little group, but because it was me, my buddy David, our buddy Chase, then our buddy Will, and then our buddy Jose came in. I think like a year or so later. And then there was this one kid that always tried to get into the group, but like now looking back at it, I'm just like, well, we were an asshole for not including him because like nobody wanted to hang out with the kid. So I feel like a dick for that. But like I feel us hanging out as a group was like very rare. But like me and David, we were like I usually went over to his grandma's house like every other day after school. Like his grandma became like a grandma to me. And so like that, like think about childhood friends, like next to you, that was probably the only like childhood friendship I can remember that actually like had an impact on me.
Yeah. I had some childhood friends, but they were all school friends. Like I never really saw them in a like outside of school. Like I did. So that one friend that I saw him 4 times outside of school, and it was all within the school year. So like during the summer, we didn't really hang out.
Oh, that's disappointing.
Yeah, and then when I went to Lehigh, I didn't hang out with any of my friends from Lehigh until 6th grade. I actually went over to someone's house, and we freaking he bought one of those water balloon launchers.
Oh no.
And so we like, so you know the freaking one, like the elastic bands, and you kind of just step on it and then like you hold it and fling
Oh
it and
yeah.
all that good stuff.
Those are
So
cool as hell.
yeah, they were freaking dope. I didn't maybe I was the troublemaker in this situation, because I was like, dude, like I can toss these, like I can toss the water balloons as far as we're launching them with this method. And I'm like, we're not utilizing this to its fullest potential. It's so what we ended up doing was I took one of the water balloon launchers and I stuck it onto a tree branch, or stuck one of the edges on a tree branch, so the tree was holding it, and then he was holding the other side. And so I pulled this until my little body couldn't pull it anymore, and freaking sent this water balloon to the freaking moon. And like, it was so funny. Like once we realized that we could do that, like freaking game changer. There was this chick that neither of us really liked, who lived a little, like a few houses down the street. And so we attempted, like we saw that she was playing in her backyard, like bouncing on a trampoline or something, and we were trying to hit her with water balloons. But we realized that.
God.
So this is what happened. We kept like, I'd pull it back, freaking send it, and it would overshoot her house by like a freaking mile. And so I was like, you know what the problem is here? We're not getting in, like I need to aim it up higher so it can come up and then like come down. So we did that. And so he went and got a ladder and stood up, and then we just put the loop on a higher branch. And so I was like leaning down. It was still lifting my body off of the ground. So I was pulling it down as far, like I said, as far as my little body could go. And we got so close to hitting her, dude. I shit you not. This is what happened. And this is why we were just like, oh, we're done, and freaking ran away. We did this. We shot it, and it like angled up, freaking like went into the sun. We couldn't see it anymore, and we're just like, oh shit! And it started coming down, and I'm like, it was almost in slow motion. We were watching it come down, and we're just like, it's gonna do it. It's gonna do it. And so we watch her. She does a backflip on her trampoline, lands it, and it's like as she's landing, the water balloon right in front of her just boom right where she was standing. And we're like, yes. And then she like saw what we were doing and was like, started yelling at us. And then she disappeared. We were dying laughing, and then we saw her parent or her mom come out for the house, and we're like, and so we freaking packed everything. We freaking left the ladder out, and we're like, bail. Freaking ran inside.
Oh shit. Okay. That's awesome.
Yeah. And then after that, we took it to the backyard and just shot it at a train that was passing by.
Oh my god.
Which, dude, so we saw the train coming by, and I was like, dude, let's hit it with water balloons, because we still had like a bunch left over. And we almost hit the conductor. Like, no joke. If it would have been going a little bit slower, we probably would have freaking clocked him. It was so close that he like started yelling at us.
Hearing this story just makes me wonder, how in the hell did you talk me into some of the bad ideas that you had growing up?
I don't think they were that bad.
I don't know, man.
They were all right.
All right, yeah, I guess we're not dead. So
Yeah, like we're fine.
uh,
Anyway, what point
anyway,
was that? I forget the point I was trying to make. Other
I don't
than
know, but
I
like,
didn't really do pranks. Other than like that was the
yeah,
closest to prank that I got.
yeah, no, I never pulled pranks unless I was with you, which we didn't really do that many. But like, it makes you think, like, with this movie, do you think we like should we have come up with something like Ricky Stanicky as a backup?
I think we were both non-social enough that no one would have believed us.
Yeah, you know what? He's right. Yeah, he's got a point there.
And I can't lie for shit.
Me too. Or me
Like
neither.
I give it away so quick. It's horrible. Like I've tried lying. It doesn't work. Like, dude, like this is, you want to know, like this is how, like, you know how most people will just kind of lie about like certain stuff to keep a secret or like a surprise from somebody.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I can't, because Braille knows how, like, what my lying looks like.
Oh God.
And so she's just like, okay, what's the truth? And I was like, ugh. Okay, well, I have a surprise for you, and no, I'm not going to tell you what it is. And she's like, okay, cool. And then she usually leaves it at that. She'll pry a little bit like throughout the week, but yeah, but it's just, my lying is horrible. But yeah, I don't know if we could have pulled off a Ricky Stanicky.
Yeah. Yeah. He's right.
And honestly, if we had, that's not something that we would have taken as far as these guys did.
True. That yeah. Because yeah, damn. Yeah, they took this quite far. And honestly, you know what I'm amazed is like how easily that they were forgiven at the end. Like I get why, it worked out. I get it. But like I would not have expected Zac Efron to get his job back, him to get the girl back, JT to literally just have to sleep out in the yard for 6 months.
6 months is a long time.
That's true. But like I don't know. I feel that maybe that might have actually wound up with divorce. I'm kind of shocked that wasn't even like thrown around. And I get it's a comedy. They don't want like anything. They want you to end on a high note. Comedies rarely, if ever, end on a depressing note. That's not what a comedy should do. So I get why everything works out for them and everything's all hunky dory. But just I don't know, some just like how far they take the lie. I'm just like, there should have been at least like a little some repercussions that should have like stuck the landing.
I agree. I think, well,
Because the only one that
You
you get
kinda-
is just JT.
yeah. Well, if you're going through like, so there, JT got punished the most. You got to think, Dean, when like his girlfriend discovered the truth, like she knew what the truth was almost immediately once he was like brought to the bris, introduced to everyone, and all that good stuff. Like she knew immediately, so it's like she had time to kind of process all of that. And I think she was kind of like testing him a bit on the whole like running this story. And so I think she had a lot more time to process it than maybe JT did. And then what was the other friend's name? Wes?
Yeah.
Yeah, and then Wes, he didn't really have that situation. Like
Yeah, that's true. Yeah.
like yes, he had used Ricky Stanicky in certain like contexts, But like, think about it. Like, worst case scenario for him, his boyfriend just figures out, oh, they didn't really date.
Yeah, that's a good point.
And so like that, if it's still boyfriend situation, so it's like the stakes are a little bit lower. Kind of the same situation with Dean and his girlfriend, but they were a little bit more serious, like discussing marriage and all that. So you understand why she maybe took it a little bit harder. And then Kevin and Wes, they had only been together for a few months, right?
I think so.
Yeah, so it's just like kind of no harm, no foul. Like, I didn't really know this Ricky Stanicky guy all that long, or so. Versus like the long term relationship thing, and then obviously JT, like his shit is still like the freshest.
Yeah.
So like, oh, you
I-
missed the birth of your child, and you went and basically goofed off with your friends, and then add the lie on top of that. I think the 6 months living in the backyard is a pretty solid. I mean, it's a little over the top, but yeah, I think it's fair punishments all around.
Yeah, no, that's fair.
But losing the job, I think that was a bit extreme.
Okay. All right.
I mean,
I withdraw my complaint.
yeah, I mean, because if I'm thinking about it from like the employment standpoint, from what's his face name? I can't remember the boss's name off the top of my head. If I'm thinking about it from that perspective, he didn't know anything about this Ricky Stanicky. He didn't get a promotion or like any promotion from Dean or GT. Like he liked him. He liked meeting him in person at this bris.
Yeah.
Called the dude independently. Like, obviously he was kind of led to believe some things about his charity work and all that good stuff, but it's just kind of like, okay, who cares? Like, you knew this dude, or you were just told some lies about this guy. So it makes sense that like he called Ricky independently with no pushing or anything. Like, it wasn't like Dean got him a job.
Yeah, that's true.
He hired him independently, asked kind of like his back. It didn't even seem like he asked his background. He just kind of asked, like, they chatted, shot the shit a little bit, and then the dude offered him a job. Like, that's not on Dean or JT.
Making over $200,000 a year.
Dude, that made me so mad.
Yeah.
That made me so upset.
Oh my! I would kill to make that every year. Oh my god!
There's not a whole hell of a lot I wouldn't do to make that kind of money.
Same here. Same here.
Shit. But yeah, so I mean, but it wasn't like he got hired and he just was like a useless employee. Like, he was offering these ideas that sparked ideas for him, and so it's like he got his saying he got his money's worth is a bit strong, because all he did was pitch some like bad idea.
Yeah.
But
I
or
mean,
like
it
kind of a
did
half
get him that merger. So
I know it won him over. So it's just like firing Dean was uncalled for. I think that was part of like it's like, hey, you hired him because you wanted him around. Like, you barely knew the dude.
Yeah.
Like, you asked him a question, he gave you a response you liked. You offered him a job because you independently met up with him. That's not on me. So yeah, I think that's probably the only punishment that I was like, that seems a bit much. But I think Dean was kicking himself in the pants at the time, like super hard, so it tracked like why he was acting that way.
I don't think he ever let go of the fact that Dean and JT never pointed out that every single time that he would talk, it would what did they call it? The fisting face or some shit like that.
Air wanking.
Air wanking. That's what it was. That they would have put that. Oh man. All right.
Yeah.
Okay.
Well, they never even like pointed it out that that's something that they noticed about him. Like that's something freaking Ricky noticed.
Yeah, that's true. All right, Caleb's got a point. Like I said, I withdraw my complaint.
Yeah, I think some of the punishments went a little too far, but I think everything else was pretty justified,
Yeah.
other than maybe the 6 months. But overall, I mean, the story had a good flow. It was a bit slow at times.
I think that you definitely could have cut like maybe like 20 minutes from this movie. It did not need to be almost 2 hours.
Yeah, you could have really ironed this out.
But like no, like I thought that the story made sense. I loved the idea that they would literally write down every single thing that Ricky had done in his lifetime. They committed to this bit, which I really appreciated. Like to the fact that when they give Rod information, like they literally have the Bible, the Stanicky Bible, the Stanicky studies. So like that is just commitment. And while, you know, I don't condone what they did, I appreciate their attention to detail.
Yeah. Dude, and freaking John Cena's character, like committing to this role as hard as he did was just, it was kind of great.
Oh yeah, dude. Oh yeah, dude. Freaking that shit was just amazing. Seeing, like, I did not expect that we would actually get to see him perform his show, with all the turning classic songs into masturbation versions. But oh my god, it was amazing. It was absolutely incredible.
I don't know if they could have done any better with that, dude. They
No,
freaking nailed it.
yeah, that was. I will give them because like I don't know if it like paid off as much as I thought it would or like as I wanted it to because like it was funny, but I'm just like they set that up so much and like the payoff just wasn't that funny to me. The whole John Cena being followed by those two guys throughout, and then like towards like almost at the end, they start following. Oh my god, what was Zac Efron's character again?
Dean.
They follow him like, oh shit, like, you know, like something's gonna happen with Dean or his oh my god, what was his girlfriend's name again? Aaron? Was that Aaron?
Yes, I want to
Okay.
say it's Aaron.
So I thought something was gonna happen with them, and so like when we finally see the payoff and it's just these two guys giving him like a hey, stop singing this certain artist's songs and making them dirty. Like it was funny, don't get me wrong, and like the fact that like Zac Efron like runs up to like block a bullet and the guy just like knocks him. He's just like, "You weren't thinking it was that, did you, bitch?"
Dude, I freaking love that. Just like, how'd that work out for you?
I don't know. Like I was expecting a little more. Like it was a decent payoff. It was funny, but I don't know. I was expecting a little more. I was a little disappointed with the payoff.
I feel you there. I don't know how they would have, how they could have pulled that off a little bit better though. Like
Yeah,
that,
that's. I feel I'm picking on this movie's plots too much and I don't really have a backing for why.
no, but I think that, like that issue in particular is more of a writing problem. But I think
Fair.
like the way that it fit into the story was fine.
Okay, that's fair.
Like a lot of this is like something. It's a very plain Jane story,
True.
and I think most of, if not all of the flaws, kind of lie within the writing.
Yeah, you're not wrong.
So I am going to. I think I'm going to give story maybe a 78. Because like I said, it's pretty plain Jane, not really too much. It's average. It
Yeah.
is average. The writing, I am gonna have to dock a little bit, but I'll let you do your whole story shtick first.
I think I'm gonna match you, honestly.
All right, next up we got writing, and this is where the movie kind of falls apart, and I think it's because of some stuff that just didn't quite track, and maybe some jokes. Like I think a lot of this was wasted potential on jokes.
Yeah. Yeah, I can definitely agree with you on that.
I think this had good bones. Like the cast wasn't bad, and I think they needed. I mean, John Cena killed it, but I think they needed better writing on the jokes because I don't think all of the jokes landed like they thought they were going to.
Yeah, no, you're absolutely right. I was trying to think of like specific ones that just didn't land,
Like specific jokes.
or like not just jokes, but like specific, like say like they tried to back something up with like with Ricky, and it when you like really think about it, you're just like it didn't make sense. Like not everything added up. And I swear that there were a couple of points throughout, but for some reason I can't pinpoint any right now.
I think a lot of my writing issues was with Zac Efron's character of Dean. I don't like I think he had the potential for a lot of like really solid lines in terms of like jokes that could have been set up. JT was okay. Like was okay written, but I
Yeah,
think he could it's just those three. Those three could have been written very different and been funnier.
yeah. You know what I hate is in every movie that there's three groups of friends, or honestly, in like when there's like honestly any group of friends, like whether it's two, three, or a bunch, there always has to be one of them that is kind of a disgrace that didn't make it. That like they're the one that the other friends always have to help out to make sure that they're okay. I don't understand why can't all of them be successful? Like why can't they all um have made it? And like I get, like, oh, like we don't want to make people think that, oh, like in order to still remain friends after all this long, you both have to make it big. You all have to make it big. You all have to be very successful. Like, but just I don't like that in these movies that's always the one that you have to feel bad for.
Those jokes never really land because I mean, if friendships show anything, it's the people that you surround yourself by are typically on the same level as you in some capacity.
Yeah.
Like it's just I feel like that's how it kind of goes. Like if if there's a friend that's like super successful versus one that's not, that's lazy, I don't feel like those two people hang out.
Yeah, no, it's true.
Like it's understandable why JT and Dean were fairly close because they work at the same job and they like again same level, and then Wes is down here unemployed, no um like no real future in sight. He's just kind of like the odd man out, and so it doesn't make sense.
No, it doesn't. Like honestly, I'm shocked that like Dean and JT didn't stop hanging out with Wes like after college. Um, and don't get me wrong, Wes seems like a great guy. I really liked his character in this. But just I don't know. Just I hate that always has to be a stereotype when it comes to your group of friends.
Yeah. Like, I almost prefer the one dumb friend trope over the
Feel
one like lower class friend.
Yeah, the one that you're supposed to feel bad for, that like, oh, I think that's so kind that the other friends are still hanging out with them, that they're still there for them even though they're not going anywhere in life. Like, I hate that.
You know what I've really liked, and I've seen this in some comedies where there's like one friend that's just kind of a total goofball, like someone who can be used and played for comedic relief, but is super well versed or knowledgeable in like one very specific thing. And so it's like that's the only time that they take you serious.
Yeah, okay.
It's just like, oh, like I know this one dude who's a total goofball, but we need someone like, I don't know, like pet related, like he's a vet or some shit like that. And he's like super well versed in like very specific animals. Like maybe he's like a horse doctor or some shit like that. So it's like they end up having a problem with a horse and taking it to him, and he's like super professional. And like I find that to be funny when like when the comedic relief goes serious. I love that.
That is a great trope. I love that.
But yeah, I'm never against a comedic relief trope,
Yeah.
and I think that that's what Wes was supposed to be, maybe, but it didn't really end up working. It almost felt like, oh yeah, Wes is there too.
Yeah, like don't get me wrong, I love the idea of childhood friends still being best friends when you're in your adult years, in your 30s, 40s. I mean, me and Caleb have been best buddies since we were in junior high, and here we are in our late 20s. Friendship as strong as ever. But you still need to explain. You still need to have a reason why they're staying in contact. Because I will like sometimes you will have friends that, even though you care about them, that you don't want to see them go down a that you don't want them to what's the word? Okay, how am I want to explain this? You know, for how much you've been together, you care about them, but you don't know if you see them in your future. That's, in a way, I think that's okay. I mean, I don't know how strong the friendship is, but just I don't know how to explain this.
Dude, I just thought of how they could have sorry.
No, you're good.
No,
I don't know
while
where the
you were
hell I was going
no,
with
while
this.
you were talking, I just had the perfect idea of how they could have rewritten that whole him getting served or something like that.
Okay.
I would have taken those guys out completely, right?
Okay.
This would have started after he was hired to like for this act or whatever. I would have had a cop like, this is how it would have gone. A cop would have like gotten a little like notification on his computer, and he would have looked up, and it would just been a picture of John Cena, right?
Okay.
And then he's like, I freaking got you. And then he goes after John Cena's character, and then he like has the whole situation where it's just like, oh yeah, like I've I've had, like you could still keep the whole like, yeah, I've blacked out for like 5 days and woken up as a manager of an Arby's. Like that. Like I would have kept most of that. And so he sees the cop and he's just like, oh shit. And he's like, I don't know what I'm wanted for, but this is the situation, blah, 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 blah. Then he obviously, like, you could have kept like the same premise where he's like, you see him following John Cena's character and like and the group and everything like throughout the movie. And then at the end, it's like it's the cop that freaking like was there for the arson. And he's like, I got you, Ricky Stanicky. Like that's was his like one unsolved case.
That would be amazing. Oh my god, dude, I would have loved that. Damn, they should have done that. Oh my god, that would have been amazing.
Yeah, like it would. I think what would have been funnier is if he was just some like old retired cop, and then he just finally gets this little ping that like Ricky Stanicky purchased something off of like he's been following like his social media account, the fake one that they set up, so he's like always in like a different country or whatever, so he's like, I can never get that son of a bitch. Then he's like, oh shit, he's in this city, like I can go there. Like that, I think that would have been funny as shit.
Like honestly, it could have been like when he finds out where he is when he actually gets like a real license that
Yep,
says Ricky Stanicky. Yeah,
exactly.
there we go. Damn, that would have been so much funnier.
I know.
I would have loved that. Oh my god, that would have been hilarious. Damn. Yeah,
wasted potential, dude.
Yeah,
wasted
dude, seriously
potential.
wasted. See, I really don't know where I was going with my point. Like you said, like I love seeing childhood friends still remain best friends in adulthood. That's awesome. But I like them all. I would like an understanding as to why the friendship is carried for that long. Like I just sometimes don't like to assume, oh, just because they're like a certain thing happened, that's why they have to stay so close. Like, I don't know. I would just like a little more explanation. But that's
Yeah.
just me. I know I'm diving way too deep into this friendship in this movie. But
yeah, for a comedy, I feel like that would be just getting into it a little too deep.
yeah,
But
no,
I
you're
think
absolutely right.
I think you're onto something. I think they need to pull off the childhood friendship with people that are a little bit more compatible with
Yeah.
each other.
There you
Like
go.
ones that where realistically these people would hang out.
Yes, there we go.
So, I mean, my writing issues, I'm putting it a little bit lower. I think I'm going to be sitting at a 75. Like this is my average upon average writing score. But I do put it below the story because I feel like the story flowed okay. The potential for a really solid comedy was there, but it's the writing that made it fall apart. And it was just because it was very like there's maybe a laugh or two that I had. Others were just like little chuckles, just like and that was it.
Yeah,
Like I didn't really have any like laugh out loud moments.
that's fair.
The only one I had was when John Cena was climbing out the window in the Britney outfit. And then when he freaking dropped his beer and he's like, oh man. And then he like bends down on the grip floor and
I feel it was that, and like when he was actually singing all the songs about
the songs were great. The songs were fantastic.
Those are amazing. So because of those songs, I'm like like even though I pointed out a lot of problems with the writing, and there are a lot of problems, I think I'm just gonna be like a point higher than Caleb at 76.
Fair enough. All right, next up we got acting. So going through this cast, first up we got Zac Efron, who plays Dean. Then we have Andrew Santino, who plays JT. Dude, is it just me, or has he been in a lot of shit lately?
Yeah, he has.
That's freaking nuts.
Yeah,
like
he's in a lot of direct to streaming movies, I've noticed.
That doesn't surprise me.
Mm-mm.
But yeah, I want to see just like how many movies he's been in this past year, because it feels like a lot.
I mean, he's not a bad actor, so
no, he's not bad at all. But I honestly didn't realize that he acted. I knew I recognize him from TikTok because I see his like clips of his podcast with I forget what his name is. But yeah, over. So
Cool, he
let's
has a
see.
podcast.
Yeah, he does a voice, or he's done a voice in Family Guy this year. Royal Crackers, Ricky Stanicky, Fool's Paradise, Beef, Scrambled, House Party, Me Time. Dude, he's been in a lot of shit lately. Good Lord.
Dude, freaking, I loved him in Me Time. He was one of the best parts in that movie.
Yeah, he's pretty funny. Goodness, he was in an episode or 12 episodes of Punked.
Oh shit, damn.
That is wild. Dude, and then he had that's just another Royal Crackers episode. Never mind. Yeah, but I feel like I've been seeing him everywhere.
No, seriously.
So yeah, Andrew Santino played JT. We have Jermaine Fowler who plays Wes. John Cena who plays Rod Rhymstead, aka Ricky Stanicky. Then we have Lex Scott Davis who plays Aaron, which is Dean's girlfriend. And then William H. Macy who plays Summerhaze, who is Dean and JT's boss. All right. I have a feeling we're both going to say John Cena is number one.
Oh yeah, without question.
Yeah, he was fantastic. I freaking loved his performance in this, dude.
He committed to this, and I appreciate it so much.
Dude, that is one thing that I appreciate about John Cena. He will go all out for these roles in whatever capacity he needs to. Like, I still think about like the commitment that he must have had to do like a full action sequence in his freaking undies in freaking Suicide Squad. That's freaking wild.
That is commitment.
Yeah, but he has commitment like no other. So I freaking love him and his performance, and he seems like such a cool dude.
He really does.
If stuff comes out where it turns out that he's a piece of shit, I'm gonna be really upset.
Right? Yeah. Yeah, that made me really sad.
Yeah, it'd almost be like for me, it would almost be like finding out that Jack Black sucks.
Dude, I can absolutely agree with that.
Yeah, I just pray that they don't, and I will ignore anything unless there's like evidence. I'm
That's
like,
fair.
no, he's not like that. But I feel the same way about him as I do with Jack Black. Dude, my favorite interview with him is the one where he's having tea with that old British lady. And have you seen that one?
I don't think I have, actually.
Oh my gosh, it's freaking hilarious. So this old lady is having tea with John Cena, and she makes a comment. She's like, you know what? Like, my granddaughter said that I, like, for whatever reason, for this interview, that I wouldn't be able to see you. And he's like, I can explain that. And he's like, well, and he just kind of like leans in and like I don't know what it was. It's just the way that he leans in and he's like, I'm a bit of a rabble rouser. And like the exact words. And she's like, oh. and then he explains the whole like shtick, but that's like my favorite part. Like, that interview comes up at least every other week on some of my scrolling, and I'll watch it every single time.
That is amazing. That is awesome.
But it's just how like innocent she is. She's just like, oh, like she's so intrigued. Just like, gosh, like,
oh, that is fantastic.
Yeah, but freaking love John Cena and loved his performance in this. But what's your 2 and 3 look like?
2, I think I would give to Andrew Santino, played JT. I just loved how chaotic he could be at sometimes. like when him and Zac Efron are having a talk in the alleyway about how they should come clean, and they see the guy that gave them the tickets to the show, and he just straight up, he's like, "F you, man! Like, go F yourself." And he's just like, "Wait, no, you don't deserve it. No, come back, man! Come on!" And he just keeps walking. Just it was that shit. Freaking in the hospital scene when he has his shirt off and his kid actually starts sucking on his nipple. That took me back to I don't do you follow Adam Devine on social media?
No, I
Okay.
don't.
So this was like a couple days ago. He posted him shirtless rocking his newborn son. And his son, you can see that his son isn't even close to his nipple, but like he's pretending to be like, oh, like I want his experience with me to be the same as his mother. So come on, buddy, latch on. He's making a joke about it, but dude, the comments are insane. Like people are just like, "Oh my god, that's so disgusting! Like, what is wrong with you? Like, why would you ever think that was funny?" And that just solidified, like, okay, like people really can't take a joke nowadays.
I know, dude. I love when I find a video where someone is very obviously making a joke and the comments are just not there for it.
Yeah, it's like baby wasn't even like from his okay. So like, say here's okay. Like I can't really explain if you're just listening to this, but for Caleb, here's Adam Devine. Here's his nipple. Here's the baby.
So it's like very obvious that he's far away from it.
I felt
Yeah,
it was,
friggin'
but or maybe it
dumb.
just wasn't to me, or maybe it was just obvious to me. But yes, people were in uproar about it.
Yeah, people are the worst.
So like freaking when I saw that, I'm just like, oh my god, that just brought me back to that video.
Yeah, dude. 100% honesty here. I attempted like the shirtless skin to skin with my kid when we were at the hospital, and I felt very uncomfortable doing it. I knew that it was like okay because like I've done it, like I did it while I was home, uh, or with the first one, because I mean I'll like walk or meander around my own house without a shirt on. And so when I was taking care of her, like I'd wake up uh and take her into another room and I just kind of like let her like lay on my chest or whatever. But I attempted because Brielle talked me into it. She's like, you should try skin to skin with him. And I was like, okay, cool. And so I took my shirt off, was holding him, and it was fine. And then the nurses come into the room and I was like, nope, I don't like this.
Of course they did.
Yeah, and luckily I had my shirt and a blanket, and I just kind of like threw it over me, and they're just like, "You shouldn't cover the baby's face," and I'm like, "I don't care, leave." I'm like, "Get out!"
Oh shit, that's amazing.
Yeah, so yeah, dude, I will say there's a I know we haven't talked about it, but it's just while we're on this, I loved I forget whose mom it is. Was it his wife's mom? That was the freaking crazy. Yeah, is the wife's mom that was basically calling them out on Ricky Stanicky being fake.
Oh yeah,
Dude, she committed.
yeah, she did.
Do you like even if I did think someone was fake? Like, do I in a situation like that where hey, maybe my daughter got abandoned when she was giving birth and all this situation, blah 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 blah. Would I call someone out if I thought that their excuse was fake? Absolutely. But if I thought that it was like they were pretending with a friend and I thought that friend was fake, the second I saw anyone show up and claim to be that person, immediately I'm like, okay, well, I was wrong.
No, yeah, same here.
She freaking like doubled down. She's like, you can't be real.
Yeah, bullshit.
Yeah. So I was like, Like,
Oh
because
man.
she went hard
Yeah.
on, and I was like, damn, like that's freaking nuts. But anyway, total sidetrack there. But yeah, so what's your or he was your 2?
Yeah.
Okay, who's your 3?
So 3 I would give to William H. Macy. Some of his,
Really?
yeah, I really liked him. And the way they the freak out especially that he did to JT and
Oh,
Dean
when he
with,
found out about the
yeah,
freaking double wanking.
yeah, that was just so great because like I was not expecting, I was expecting him to hear him just laying into Ricky, and all of a sudden walks out of his office. You two, come here. How could you not tell me that I was doing that? At least Ricky had the decency to tell me, but you two, you've been working for me for how long? Shit, like William H. Macy committed to that shit, and it was great.
Yeah. I
So
freaking like the whole like the joke with the the plugs. And he's like, "Oh, they must be new." And he's like, "No, they're not." And zoomed in on his head.
yeah, dude, freaking Ricky and Summer Hayes' interaction, their first interaction at that party, freaking hilarious.
I would love to see these two in an independent comedy of their own.
Dude, like he's like, so Stanicky, are you always an asshole when you first get introduced? I mean, he's got a point. But yeah, this shit was funny. So yeah, so 3rd, William H. Macy, loved him.
Gosh, talking it through, it's hard to argue. I'd say an honorable mention is definitely Zac Efron, but
Agreed.
I think whatever has happened with his life, his facial expressions are not what they used to be.
I feel really bad for the guy.
Yeah. I know one thing that I noticed, and I don't think Rose did, but when he goes to kiss his girlfriend, he doesn't purse his lips anymore. Like, because I've seen like a bunch of Zac Efron movies where he's kissed someone and he always kind of like purses his lips a little bit.
Yeah.
Like, it's not always a lot, like just a little bit. And in this one, he was like freaking flat mouthing it. Like he was doing the motion, but just not doing anything with his lip. And I was like, that's very odd to look at. And it was super noticeable. And I was like, was he like this before? And I've seen others. Like I went back and like double checked just to make sure that I wasn't being weird. But yeah, I was like, yep, he's kissing weird.
I'm curious how his facial expressions are in the Iron Claw. 'Cause I definitely want to watch that. So I'm curious because I don't know if that was filmed before or after his accident. So I'm
If it
curious.
was that had to be after. Like his
Yeah.
face still looks like how it did.
Okay. I mean, I've heard his performance is amazing in that movie. So
That's one I want to see pretty bad too.
Mm.
Maybe that can be one that we do in the future.
Oh yeah, dude, I'm down. Absolutely.
Yeah, overall acting wasn't too bad.
Yeah, no, it
Wasn't anything like fantastic other than John Cena's stuff.
Yeah.
Which I say him alone, like I think he bumps it up maybe to like an 83 for me.
Wait, but what's your 2 and 3?
Huh? Oh, my 2 and 3? I agree with you.
Oh, sorry.
Yeah, same 2.
Okay, cool. You gave it, what was it, an 83?
Yeah.
I think I'm just gonna be a point higher at 84.
All right. Next up, we got character development. This is hard. Who do we do this on?
Like, do we do? Because, like, do we do it on like the group of like the 3 guys and like what they learned from the whole Ricky Stanicky thing, or do we do it on how Rod, what happened with Rod with doing the whole Ricky Stanicky and how he came out a better person at the end?
I
It's
do
kind of
not know.
it's kind of hard.
I'd say let's do it on the group,
Okay.
which it's interesting to watch this group deal with the Ricky Stanicky situation. And seeing just how far they'll go to try and hide all of that.
No, like seriously. You got to give him props though. Like, way to commit to the bit. Because like I pointed out earlier, like the fact that they have a freaking Bible to Ricky Stanicky and who he is just, that is like some of the hardest core commitment I've ever seen
Dude,
for a
you
bit.
gotta keep, like, honestly, like, makes sense.
Oh yeah, absolutely. um yeah, no, it makes complete sense, and like kudos to them. Like you said, don't condone what they did, but I appreciate the attention to detail.
Yeah. That's so I'll say this. Um I felt like there was wasted development with Dean. I mean, you see him at his like it's a super quick. Like you see like the decline in his own just personal life because he's feeling so guilty about this lie. And then everything just kind of hits at in the final moments where it's just like, oh, he's lost his girlfriend's mad at him. He's lost his job. He's like all these bad things happen to him. So he's at his lowest low. And then very, very shortly after that, he's back to being like where he has everything back, more or less, because of the whole presentation that his girlfriend put together.
Mhm.
So I feel like there was wasted potential because of that whole, and it was all kind of circulated behind that conversation that Wes and Dean had, where he's like, I know why you lie. Like you've been doing it forever, like long before Ricky Stanicky. Like you this like I understand why you lie. And like pointed out that is because his father was super abusive and ended up breaking his arm, and he's just like, and Dean's just like, no, it was an accident. And he's like, you see, you're still lying now. And it's like that hits hard. And
Yeah.
I feel like they could have dived into that a bit more. Like if they would have just shown, I think he should have come clean to Aaron and not Aaron being the one to be like, "Oh yeah, I knew."
I agree. Because I feel that there's a really nice moment that they share. I think it's at the bris. That's what it's called, right?
Yeah.
um, where he actually like says something about his childhood, and she's like, "That is the first time that you've ever talked about it," and then like literally just straight jumps to the next scene. Like it's never talked about again. Um, and I feel that if they would have elaborated on um him growing up, especially not only with JT and oh all right, oh,
Wes.
Wes, thank you. But also Aaron, I feel that that would have really added to his character. I wanted to see more of that.
I did too. I don't know how, like, it's also trying to fit that theme into the tone. I think that they could have gotten real ballsy with it. Like
Yeah, they really
thrown
could
that
have.
in a bit more. And I think like you make here's honestly how I probably would have handled it. Shown like his home situation on like Halloween, and then him coming out and meeting his friends and then them going to do the prank.
Yes, that would have been perfect.
And then it leads right into the freaking shit stomping the bag and all that good stuff, and like all like that good funny shit. And then you could have addressed it throughout.
Like honestly, I would have been, just because I like to know all three characters and where they come from. I would have loved a scene with all three of them leaving their houses as kids, just to understand where they all come from.
I would agree if it weren't for how these characters like the other characters like JT and Wes, they didn't really have much going for them in terms of like developing. Like all of their
That is
problems
fair.
came later in life, where he was dealing with issues from his past.
That's fair.
So it's more setting the tone for that. But I mean, if they would have had previous problems, like maybe doing JT would have been funny, just like showing how scatterbrained his mom is. Because his mom was just like, oh my gosh, you haven't changed a bit, to someone she's never met before. Like, oh, see, you've been a bit of a troublemaker. I'm like, dude, you have no idea how hard that hits, because that's exactly what I would do if someone comes up. Like, I'm so dumb. If someone were to come up and pretend to know me, I would pretend to know them right back.
Oh my god.
Like, I've done that to freaking like I don't think anyone in my family listens to this. I did that at my aunt's funeral. Like her service,
Yeah.
there were a bunch of family members being like, oh my gosh, I haven't seen you in years. I'm like, I know, how long's it been? And then as soon as I walk off, I turn to my mom, who was that? And she's like, oh, that's your uncle on your grandmother's side. I'm like, okay, cool. When's the last time I saw this person? And she's like, couldn't tell you.
Oh man.
Dude, but my brother, like, I freaking tricked Bronson into thinking I knew someone too, because I what I'll do is I'll match energy. Whatever energy they're giving to me, I will match right back. I'm just like, they're like, oh my gosh, Kate, like, is it like, Caleb, is that you? And I'm like, it sure is. Is that you? What? And
Get
then
on
like,
over here.
yeah, and then I'll be like, oh my gosh, how long has it been? And they're like, I haven't seen you since you were like this tall. And I'm like, I know, and look at me now. Dude, straight up full-blown conversations. And then I'm like, and then, like, my brother comes up and he's like, who was that? And I'm like, if I know. And I'm like, it's a pretty good bet that they're related to me.
Oh my god.
Yeah, and then they're just like, oh, good to see you. And I'm like, yeah, good to see you too. Yeah, I don't have an idea who you are.
Oh my god.
I am the master of not using names. So like, if someone comes and they know my name, but I don't know theirs, I'm hitting them with, hey, you. Like, oh, what you been up to? Like, I will avoid using the names at all. And it is 100% because I don't know your name. Like, I'll do it at work too. Like, people that like show up at like, there's people at work that I'll be like, hey, bud. Like, what's up, guy? Like, hit them with that shit. And they're just like, hey. I'm like, oh, and I'll get some people being like, oh, just shoot me an email. And I'm like, because all of our work emails are that person's name at our company.com. And I'm like,
same with us.
Oh shit.
Thank God I work in a business that you have to have name tags.
Well, we're supposed to have name tags, but a lot of people like it'll be like if their name tags are flipped around, so I can't see them because it's it's like a badge.
Gotcha. Okay.
So yeah, like I'll be like, oh shit, because they'll be like, oh, just send it to me like through email. And so what I'll do instead is I'll print it off and just take it to them and be like, I just thought I'd deliver it.
Do you a solid, make it easier for you.
Yeah, like, but anyway. I forget the point I was trying to make with that.
That was hilarious.
But yeah, so that's my go-to move. But anyway, I with Dean dealing with his past, I think we should have seen a bit more of that, and then had more conversations between Dean and Aaron. And that's where I think you could have had a funny situation where maybe they're talking and then there's just chaos happening in the background.
Yeah, there we go.
Like I feel like that's a pretty like common move. So that's the route I would have taken with it. So where are you sitting with character development?
I don't know, just because I feel I would have changed a lot. I think I'm probably sitting at the same score. You know what? I'm gonna be in between my story and writing. I'm gonna be at a 77.
I'm going to be way lower than you.
Oh shit!
I'm actually sitting at like a 72.
Fair enough.
I think that they could have done a lot more with the Dean's character, and it was a little bit disappointing that they didn't. Other
That's
than
fair.
that, the only person that really had any like decent growth was Rod or Ricky, and he technically wasn't even the focus of this movie.
I feel Wes kind of had some too, because Rod actually convinced him to actually, write that book, do something that he felt that he was good at. Like maybe it wasn't what Wes intended to, but it was something that Rod showcased that he was actually good at. And so I actually liked seeing how far Wes had come by the end of the movie.
Yeah. All right, next up we got effects, which there wasn't really all that many.
The only effect I can think of was the animation at the beginning, which that was cool. Like,
Yeah, it kind of had like Hanna-Barbera vibes.
yeah. I freaking what I would have done if I was them is when they do like the whole like fireworks thing, I think that should have been like the like title card. And that's how you lead into like the full start of the movie.
Yeah, it almost felt like it went on a little too long.
It did. Yeah. Like Ricky was here. Ricky did it. It's like, okay, we get it. We get it.
Cinematography was good though. I'm trying to think of like stunt work. There wasn't really much of that. I mean, the only bit that I can think of is when Dean gets knocked on his ass by the court service guy.
That and Ricky or Broad jumping out the window.
Yeah, that is something I really want to know whether John Cena did that himself.
Same here. So they need to release some special features for this movie.
Yeah, it was impressive. Like that is something I was like, okay, what are they going to do here? This is something that a bit that I probably would have messed with a little bit.
Yeah.
Like when he jumps out the window, I would have had like a heel break. And so
Yeah,
that's
that
why
would have been
that's why
funny.
that's why he tumbles and then freaking drops the glass and everything, because him jumping, landing, and then it just slips out of his hand was kind of lame.
Yeah.
I would have gone like full like physical comedy with it. He drops the glass, it shatters, and then he's like, then the heel breaks. Or just, I don't know, something along those lines.
I
In my
agree.
version, the heel would have broken.
Yeah, I would have loved that.
And I don't know. I think I also think in my version, I probably would have thrown in a stupid like, "Oops, I did it again" joke.
Dude, I would be all for that.
Yeah, like okay. I'm trying to think of how I would have done it without it being like super lame. So I would have had him like jumping out of the window, landing on the ground, heel breaks, he falls, bam, like breaks the bottle. He does his whole like thing again, and then he stands up and tries to walk, and then the other heel breaks, and he like tumbles over into the trash, and he's like, did it again. Like that's how I would have played that scene. But other than that, like, I mean, it was all right.
Yeah, nothing really to write home about. Nothing special.
Yeah, I think I'd go maybe around where I was sitting with story 78 because I mean the cinematography was pretty good.
Yeah. Um, I think just because the animation, I'm just gonna bump it up just one, so 79. I really liked that, even though it went on for a little too long.
Yeah. All right, next up we got music.
Yeah, all the masturbation songs were amazing.
Dude, those were really well written.
Those were those were incredible. Like I was freaking dying at every single one. And the fact that they were able to squeeze in so many.
I know, dude. And I don't think like I think you're able to throw in a lot of parodies because those fall under the free use guidelines.
Yeah, you're right.
Like if you use or if you write a parody, like you're good to go. And so I think that's why they were able to get away with so much. But that was so freaking funny. All of those freaking songs were fantastic.
Yeah.
And John Cena singing all of them too. Dude, that was just icing on the cake.
It was.
Other than that, I mean the soundtrack was pretty just typical classic comedy soundtracks, I'd say. Nothing too special.
Yeah.
But those songs are what freaking like sent this score up.
Dude, 100%.
I don't know how high I want to go with this though.
I'm like it doesn't bumps me up, but like not super high, so I'm at a 7.
I think I'm personally at an 8 with that one. I think
Fair.
the parody songs are just funny enough to warrant going a bit higher.
That's fair.
All right, next up we got costumes. This is not a 10 out of 10.
No.
But the outfits were pretty sick.
Yeah, they were. And going back to that scene when he's singing all those covers, all of his costume changes were great, especially the freaking Britney Spears one. Like, oh my god. So, but yeah, they definitely weren't anything to write home about. So, or no, like some, like with Dean, Wes, and JT, like, you know, classic in your like 30s, 40s outfits. But yeah, what John Cena wore, like, freaking is what made it. So I think personally, I'm at an 8 for costumes.
That is actually exactly where I was sitting too.
Hell yeah.
All right, last up we got our own personal score. I want you to take this one first.
Okay. Yeah, overall, I think Ricky Stanicky is a decent comedy. It's not great. I wouldn't even say it's that good, but it's worth, I think, one watch. Like if you really can't think of a better comedy to watch, or like really anything to watch, I think you'd have a good time watching it. The cast is decent, but John Cena makes this movie. He really does. He commits to it, and I loved it so much. This I was very shocked to see that only one of the Fairley brothers directed this movie, because I thought they were always a duo, but I guess not. But like I told Kayla before we started recording, no matter how many times that they try, the Fairley brothers will never be able to reach the comedic genius that they got with not only the original Dumb and Dumber, but There's Something About Mary. And those were, I mean, I'm glad There's Something About Mary was just a one-off, but there's a reason why Dumb and Dumber 2 should have not happened. Like, it was great to see Jim Carrey and Jeff Daniels back together again, but Dumb and Dumber is a one-off comedy, and that's how it should have remained. But this is, I wouldn't say that this is one of their worst, or this, well, I guess I can't say one of their, this isn't one of either of the Fairley brothers' worst movies, but it's definitely not their best. And I don't know, like, I don't know if I see myself coming back to this movie. This might just be like a one and done comedy, but if you got nothing else to watch, maybe check it out at least once.
Yeah.
So personal score, I think I'll go 79.
I'm with you on that. This may be one that if Brielle wants to watch it, I might sit down and watch it with her. Otherwise, I don't see myself coming back to this one. It is a very plain Jane kind of comedy, and I like my comedies to be a little bit more unique than what this was. Like, this had some good stuff, good bones. I think this had the potential to be one of the greats, but I don't think they hit the mark. Not nearly as well as they were hoping to, or whatever the situation may be with that. So I might be a little bit lower. I'm probably sitting maybe 76. It was just right at that super average line for me.
That's fair.
All right. Well, with that, going through these scores, starting off with story, we are sitting at a 78. The writing is sitting at a 75.5. Acting got a pretty decent bump, sitting at an 83.5. Character development went down, is at a 74.5. So character development is our lowest category. Effects got a little bit of a bump, sitting at a 78.5. Music is sitting at a 7 out of 10. Costumes is sitting at an 8 out of 10. And our personal score ended up averaging out to a 77.5. So with that, the final All Bros letters grade for Ricky Stanicky has come out to a C+.
Okay, it's not bad.
Not bad at all. Honestly, a little higher than I thought it was going to be.
Yeah, same here.
It is actually one of our higher rated C+ movies.
Oh shit.
Only being 1% shy of a B-.
Damn.
Yeah, so it is currently sitting at a 79.06%.
Wow.
Yeah, so this puts it exactly on the same level as the 2022 remake of Pinocchio.
I put it so much higher than that, but that's just personal.
Fair. I think what got Pinocchio was music.
All right. Fair.
It is sitting below Uncharted.
Okay.
It is below I Want You Back, which, funny enough, is another Prime Video. It is below Hocus Pocus 2.
Okay.
It is below the 2021's Mortal Kombat.
All right.
And it is below the Aladdin remake.
All right. I can agree with that one.
All right. Going the opposite direction, it is sitting above Army of the Dead.
Yeah, I can agree with that.
It is above Chicken Run, Dawn of the Nugget.
Yeah, fair.
It is above The New Mutants.
Yeah, definitely fair.
It is above Godzilla versus Kong.
Ooh, that's going to piss some people off. But yeah, I agree with that.
And it is also above Jumanji: The Next Level.
I can't argue that one either.
I know. Dude,
Yeah.
the C+ ones I feel are like walking a fine line between like being correct and wrong.
Yeah, seriously.
You want to know one that I do feel would piss people off?
Huh.
This is sitting above, so this is a pretty significant difference. It's, well, kind of 2%. It's a 2% difference from Spider-Man.
Oh, shit. Damn.
Yeah, the frickin' there's a lot of shit that frickin' killed Spider-Man.
Damn.
Anyway, but I think it has a decent home.
Yeah, I agree.
Yeah. But anyway, so that wraps up this week's breakdown. If you liked this episode, want to check out more of our stuff, be sure to follow and subscribe to us wherever you listen to podcasts. We are basically everywhere. You can also follow us on social media. We are on Facebook, Twitter, Instagram, TikTok, LinkedIn, anywhere you can search for the All Bros. We are at the All Bros. But yeah, if you want to hit us up for anything, feel free to reach out through any of our DMs or shoot us an email, theallbroschannel@gmail.com. You can check out our website as well, tinyurl.com/theallbros, where you can find links to everything that we do. Next week is a little bit on the fence. I'm going to see if I can attempt to get away to go see Ghostbusters Frozen Empire. If I am not able to, we will be breaking down Madam Web. So I am very excited to see if that I am going to feel so dumb if this is a movie that I actually like.
Oh, dude.
I doubt it. I highly doubt it. Everything I've heard about it makes me think it's going to suck. But I feel like I'd be like, I don't know. I have a feeling I'd be like, oh, it wasn't that bad.
I'm gonna let everyone know if Caleb does end up liking this movie, it's gonna become the All Bro podcast after next week. Just saying.
Yeah. So depending on what we do, we'll see if we can get some people on to discuss that movie with us, because I think that'd be one hell of a time to just tear a movie apart.
Yes.
But anyway, so yeah, you guys can look forward to that. Until then, this has been the All Bros podcast. I'm Caleb.
And I'm Jonathan.
And we will catch you guys next week. Deuces.
So long.
That was rough.
I got a little tickle in my throat. I think I'm getting a little sick. I sure as hell hope not. I can't be sick for Ghostbusters Frozen Empire. Knock on wood.
It's like you got a
been a little too loud.
You got a cold for Frozen Empire.
So funny.